Okay guys, it is time to start my cook up. Now in tonight's cook up, and cheers to everyone who bought a stubby holder, by the way. Much appreciate the support. If you want one, check out the Facebook page. The links are in there for the stubby holders and the stickers. So okay guys, so tonight is a little bit of a different cook up. I'm going to cook up some chicken breast with some broccolini, red capsicum. I got a couple of spices to go in, and we're going to cook it up in some of those Chinese sort of style noodles with a bit of a grated sort of carrot stir fry. So let's get into this before it gets too dark. The fire's going over there in the back. It took me quite a bit of time to get going, so a few hours exactly. So we got it going. It's enough for a coal base just to cook on. I've got a pot belly going inside the hut just over there, so she's nice and warm in the hut. Let's get the cook going before it gets dark. Let's get the party started. All right. First things first, I've got to chop up this breast piece. I did try and get some chopped up breast pieces from the supermarket, but I didn't have any, so I've got to do it manually with my knife that I got right here. This is that fantastic knife that everyone sees me using these TV shows. So let's go and do it. Let's chop it up. So I don't use all the chicken breast. Some of it's a bit average. Obviously, there's some veiny sort of bits and things and fat in there. So those ones we get rid of. So I'm going to chop up some of this. Get rid of the veins and things and have some nice pristine sort of breast pieces of chicken. So I didn't expect to like find this hut on this trip. This trip's meant to be Licola to Kevington. So anyways, it is what it is. I was going to wild camp tonight in the bush, and I stumbled across this hut. So yeah, so we're here and let's make the most of it. Like I said, I got the pot belly going inside there. This dish is going to be right pretty good, I reckon. Like, once I chop it up into a couple of cubes, we get it on the frying pan. And I've got some special chili sauce just over there. I'll show you guys what's going to happen with that. That's from someone, right, that I buy pizza from. So this guy makes it all on his own. It's quite hot, the sauce. It's really good. There's 4 different types as well. But I've chosen this one for this dish, which I'll we'll get to there. We'll get to that. So I'm chopping these bits nice and sort of thin. Let's try and get these little bits of red bits, these little veiny bits out. See that? So I'll try and get those out. But those go in the bin, or in this case, we will burn them later on. I'll put them in the fire and discard them that way. Tomorrow night we're in Kevington. I am meeting up with a friend of mine who I did call when I was in the Licola caravan park. I called him up and asked him what he's up to, and he's not doing much. So he's going to meet me down in Kevington. So that's going to be really good. We're going to have some company down there. And unfortunately, because it's during the week, the Kevington pub is not open. So I would have liked to go on in there, and same as the same as the Woods Point pub, I would have liked to have gone in there, maybe for a beer or so. So it's not open. So we'll drive on past and have a bit of a look at it, and a bit of history around the old Kevington pub, if any one of you know it, with the convicts that escaped from jail. And there was a bit of a fire and all sorts of things around the pub. So they actually escaped and got intercepted up on the South Road before they hit Licola. So it was funny. I was in Licola a couple of months ago, and I met the original owners, not the previous owner now, from the not the owner before Leanne, the ones previous, which were like there for a very long time. I know the lady's name was Helen. I've forgotten the guy's name, but they were driving some type of Triumph motorbike or something like that. And yeah, they popped in, and I was there. So it was an experience. And they told me the story about the Kevington Hotel and how the police came in. They took over the whole Licola general store and served customers and everything, waiting for these escapees to sort of pull up and they could nab them. I did ask the two owners or previous owners if they did want an interview with me for the Bush TV, but they declined. They didn't really. They were a little bit camera shy, so it doesn't matter. Like it was a good experience to meet the two previous owners. I had been in there before. I had met the two previous owners and bought merch back in the 90s from Licola. Okay, I am going to oil up the pan. It's just over there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Frying pan is there. So over here, we give that a bit of an oil. She's nice and clean, all ready to go. It's just not preheated just yet. That will get nice and oily, and this can also go in the fire when we get to it. Now the chicken can go in. That's in. Awesome. Now what we're going to do now, I've got to chop up some carrot, some broccolini and some red capsicum and throw that in the frying pan. Right, in this one I've got a red capsicum, so we'll just obviously chop up as much as we can of it without all those seeds. I don't need a lot. Obviously it's one dish just for me, so if I was cooking this for some more people, I'd probably use a bit more of the capsicum, be a bit more fussy. Now we'll get rid of that, that's the seedy bit. Chop up the back part. This knife might need a bit of a sharpen soon, so now we've got to get rid of all these seeds, right? So what I might do is go off and just give it a rinse with the water that's in the car over there. Open it up, rinse off the seeds, and then we'll come back and we'll chop it up. Don't know what happened to the fire just then. But anyway, so I've just rinsed it off, got rid of some of these seeds. They're still there, but we'll just pick some pieces off before I chop it up and get rid of these seeds. So some of you might not do it this way, but this is the way I do it. Give it a rinse. The water was, I don't know what's going on with that fire, but anyway, it's got a mind of its own. It's taken quite some time to get the fire going, let me assure you that. So let's get rid of that water. It's only a few seeds, it doesn't really matter. And we'll chop up this part. Get rid of that bag, it's like sticking to me. Chop up this part of the capsicum. It's a stir fry, right? So you don't want it too thick because we're going to just quickly cook it up in the pan. Don't know what's going on over there. Anyway, I sort of do this when I make pizza. This is going to be nice. This is going to be a nice dish. Like, I did think about what I was going to do on this trip, and when my pizza friend offered me some nice hot sauce for a shout out, by the way, he's Town and Country Pizza in Eastwood, over towards just out of Bairnsdale. So he makes these sauces himself. If you want to get some, look it up. And yeah, they're good. Like, there's 4 different types that I got. Like I said before, I have one type with me today. It might be the smoky one. It's pretty good. There's like a curry sort of one, and they're pretty good. Some of them are pretty hot as well. So if you like chili, which will go well with chicken, with a bit of all-purpose seasoning, It might be a bit thick, that bit. Okay. Have a crack at it because it's pretty good. So. Okay, so the capsicum's nice and chopped. That goes in. There's a little bit of water there. The next step, obviously, I've got a carrot, so I've got to peel it off and then chop it up real fine, because it's, like I said, stir fry. You want to cook the carrot sort of reasonably fast, but obviously carrot's carrot. It does take a bit of heat to cook. Okay, so here's the carrot. I'm going to chop it up nice and fine. I did mention that I do have the billy inside the hut on top of the pot belly, so it's boiling the water to soak these noodles. So let's chop this carrot up. Well, it's got to be nice and fine, so you can sort of chop it thin. One thing about this knife, it's good, but then this will take a bit of time with this one, but we don't want them too thick. We want them nice and thin, like that. So on the pan, they can cook quick. Okay, so carrot's done. Okay, so carrot's done in the pan. We can get it all in there. It's all good. It's all going to end up in there anyway, right? So, okay, the next ingredient is broccolini. Now, you can use those green beans, but I prefer to use this. I find broccolini just cooks up nicely in the pan, so, and it's nice and easy to cut. Where those beans are good as well, you can just sort of throw them in, but this is pretty good. So just sort of chop it up nice and fine. It's nice and easy to sort of chop up and chop the whole thing. Pretty basic. Yeah, where beans are a little bit, maybe they might take a little longer. The carrots are going to take a bit of time. The carry-on birdie agrees with me. We know, mate, we know you're there. Yeah. The carry-on bird is about. He was over there before in the tree watching me. Right, straight in the pan. Right, so that's it. Now generally I would have cooked the chicken first, but in this case I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sort of cook it all at the same time. It'll all sort of take the same amount anyway, so what I'm going to do now is add a little bit of ingredients, all right? So let's get rid of that, because we're going to have to wash that plate, and then we are going to add some ingredients in here. There's the knife, so we can mix it up a bit. Mainly the chicken, right? So there's the chicken. Let's put first a little bit of salt and pepper on there. Luckily for me, I have both. There's both salt and pepper in this. It's pretty handy, so give it a bit of a go. Maybe some through there, just a little bit. Beautiful. Now, the other one will be a little bit of all-purpose seasoning. Let's make sure it's sort of loose so we can get it on the chicken. Nope, that's fine, doesn't really matter, that's good. Right, so there's those two ingredients added. Now what I'm going to do with the sauce that I was talking about, it's this one right here. Okay, so that's what we're going to add. It's called Ghost Bat Sauce Company. It's the guy from the pizza shop down at Town and Country in Eastwood. Smoky flavoured, fused with the heat of the Carolina Reaper. She's pretty hot. So once I cook it up, I'll stir it through and we'll dish it up into noodles. Okay, not forgetting our glove, because it's going to get hot, even though it's not that hot right now. Let's put this on the fire. Let's make that fire nice and even, and we'll get it on. Alright, so I don't want to cook it too quick. Sort of take it off if it's a little bit too hot. I don't think it is, but we don't want it to burn. We want to slow cook everything. Get them nice and soft. We don't want to overdo it. So take the frying pan off for a bit. The fire's still got a good coal base. So it's alright enough to cook on. I'm not going to crank that fire too much tonight out here. I'm just going to get it so I can cook on it tonight, and then I'm going to kick back inside the hut. Like I said before, the water's boiling. I was starting to get hot on top of one of the pot bellies inside the hut. These are the noodles I'm going to use. I've forgotten the name, but they're like wet. What you do is you put them inside a saucepan for about 2 minutes with boiling water, which is right here, right? So once that's done, we drain it off and we mix all this together, and I'm going to put on some of that real special sauce. It's going to be a beautiful dinner. This will feed two easy. But tonight I'm pretty hungry, so I reckon I can eat the whole thing. So I just brought the billy out and chucked it on the fire for a bit. She's boiling real good. Okay, so that's boiling pretty good. So what we do now is I'm going to take it off. Okay, so billy is hot. As hot as we can get it when you call it boiling. Our noodles are here. That knife just touched me on the knuckle. I did do that at Taylor's Crossing once. And it was that sharp, it just touched me and it cut me. So you've got to be careful with these sharp sort of instruments, don't we? Alright, so I've never done this before. Let's get these noodles in there, right? Yeah, there. Look at that. Now the billy, like I said, is boiling. They reckon 2 minutes, but you know, 2 or 3 minutes. I'm not going to be fussy. Let's get it in there. I might even put it on the fire. We'll see what happens. They're sort of cooked already, those things. Might save that water to wash a couple of things off. Put it over there. Take a break and have a bit of a sip of my beer, because I think I deserve that after today's little effort. The chicken's all sitting down there cooking nice and slow on that fire, so we'll get it off in a minute. That went down well. I reckon dinner's going to go down better. Let's get it. Alright, we'll just move our noodles out of the way here and we'll sort this out, I reckon. This is absolutely smelling fantastic. And it's cooked up nice too. It's not burnt. It's just, I lost a couple of bits of the chicken in the fire, but you know, you can expect that. This is beautiful. This is going to come out real well, I reckon. Oh yeah. All we need to do, once the noodles are done, I left my strainer at home, the sift thing, where I strain my spag bowl. I haven't cooked a spag bowl for a while in the bush. Not for a couple of years, I don't think. So what I might do on the next one is actually cook the spag bowl from scratch in the bush. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to do that. And then I can sort of show you what I do and how I mix up and make my spag bowl. Just like that. Just tip it in there. Okay, so let's get it in. Usually I would do this with my other arm, but I have an injury. I just lost some as well. I have a bit of an injury in my left arm. I just lost some on the table. We can't eat that because you just can't, so that can go. Maybe we can feed some field mice or something. Right, I do have an injury in my left arm, so oh my, that's absolutely beautiful. Now here we go. I'm going to add this sauce in there. This is This is hot. Like, this will burn your bum the next day in the toilet. So anyway, we are going to add a little bit of this in. That tastes really good as it is, so let's try and get some of this on and then mix it through. It's sort of a little bit hard to get out. No wonder, like, it's pretty hot, right? So you don't need a hell of a lot. Probably that will do, I reckon. No, me, I like hot food, so that will probably do. Just a tiny bit of this stuff. Like I said, Town and Country Pizza in Eastwood, just out of Bairnsdale. This guy rocks. Makes a damn good pizza as well. Get those noodles through and sit back and enjoy it. I should start making my bush TV recipes, I reckon. I was thinking about doing that. Oh, that's great. And the spice is just enough. It's through. Oh, there we go. It's a bit of a bush cook, guys, so I'm going to sit down and enjoy it right now. Check that out. Absolutely spot on. I don't cook this good at home, seriously. I'm going to sit down over there and enjoy this. Get myself another one of them. All right. Kick back for the night. Then we're going to hit those tracks tomorrow. We're up there. We're doing a couple of gnarly sort of tracks, but we're going down. I'm not going up. I don't have a... my winch is a bit dodgy. I've got the trigger, but it's dodgy. So if I do get stuck, I've got to do some sort of MacGyver sort of stuff to get it sort of working, but I'm not going to risk it. So we're off to Kevington. I'm meeting up with a mate down there. So we're down the tracks, through to Woods Point, and into Kevington. We're going to set up a nice camp and have a good old fire and kick back right on the Goulburn River. I'll see you in the morning. Again, thanks for watching the Bush TV. I can't get over how good this is. It's absolutely spot on. I should cook this stuff more often in the bush. It's beautiful. See you in the morning, guys. Thanks for watching. See you there.